Hello, Eurovision fans. I am back. I'm going to give my recap and thoughts on semifinal 2 of the Eurovision 2019 Song Contest in Tel Aviv. That was yesterday. And I'm going to be a little quicker with this one because, first of all, I don't have a lot of time and I actually don't have quite as much to say. I feel like semifinal 1, there were so many robs, there were so many snubs, and also it was just, I feel, a little bit more of a competitive group of songs where the stakes were a little higher for me. And semifinal 2, honestly, there was not a whole lot of competition. Honestly, the way the chips fell was pretty predictable. And I will just say this, I am very satisfied with the results for who qualified, the 10 out of the 18 acts that performed yesterday. And that was nice to hear after, kind of the atrocities of the qualifications from semifinal 1. So semifinal 2 was pretty predictable. Let's just get right into it, shall we? So we opened up the show with Armenia with Serbuk, her song Walking Out. Now there were some significant technical difficulties with some of the live broadcast of the staging. It looked like there was no audience for the opening part of her song. Apparently there was some sort of mix-up where they were showing footage from a rehearsal instead of the live performance of her, and then it cut to that. So it was just this whole kind of little bit of a mess. She wasn't aware of that, of course, at the time. There were also possibly some in-ear technical difficulties. I don't know. I've been hearing there were some technical difficulties with semifinal 2 with certain acts. But that being said, I will say that Serbuk's song never really stood out to me as a qualifier, as a song that really was going the distance. She can perform it with some pretty strong vocal chops. But apparently she wasn't quite on her A game. Apparently her rehearsals were a little bit stronger. And she just wasn't really hitting the notes the same way with the same kind of power and bombast. Not to mention the staging was pretty simplistic for a song that is quite dramatic and theatrical. Then we had Sarah McTurnan representing Ireland with her song 22 come out on stage and sort of do a retro 50s diner setup. It was very pastiche, I would say. And I just don't really quite understand necessarily the theming that she was going for. It's supposed to be sort of like this down-to-earth sort of folky pop ballad, but the staging made it kind of seem like it was this whole I don't know, it was this whole big thing, and it was just kind of not really connecting for me. Not to mention, I just don't really think the song in general is anything to phone home about. I had this song as the 8th worst of the year. Yeah, I just never was really impressed by this song, and her vocal delivery was definitely not up to par. She seemed kind of nervous and a little bit out of breath the whole performance, and she just didn't really seem to be that into it, almost like she was a little bit bored. Either really nervous or really bored. So honestly, it just felt like she was kind of phoning it in, so I'm not surprised Ireland didn't qualify. I was a little worried it might have before the performance, but after I saw the performance, I was like, there's no way this is qualifying. Okay, so most improved award when we consider the staging and the vocals, when you take a song that's not that impressive and really give it every ounce of all you've got. My most improved award is going to Anna Odebescu for Moldova with her song Stay. Boy, did she really try and sell that song. And let's be real, it's a really mediocre, dated, kind of typical Eurovision power ballad. But boy, did she sell those lyrics and those vocals. Honestly, I could have seen her qualifying because, if San Marino qualified from semifinal 1, why can't Moldova? Moldova's way stronger. At least vocally, it's more it's more impactful. Not to mention the Sand Art by Ukrainian artist, who's actually performed on AGT before. The Sand Art was interesting. I don't know if it was necessarily needed there, but I definitely don't see it hurting the performance. I think it did kind of just add an interesting way for some sort of story to be told. But the images that were used didn't really feel like they were fitting with the actual lyrics of the song. So you can really tell that this was kind of an afterthought. These two things were not thought of together when the song was originally written. We have to have a sand artist do this. Like, it was just this extra sort of added, ooh, let's try and make our song stand out a little bit more because we're realizing it's kind of falling flat when you consider the rest of the bunch. And I just don't think that ultimately that paid off for them very well. I am not surprised they didn't qualify, but after seeing, her real vocal performance, I was, almost rooting for her in some ways. But yeah, I'm sorry, Anna, but you get Most Improved Award for sure when we consider, what you took and what you brought to the stage. You really tried. Okay, so we pick things up with Luca Hani. She Got Me, the entry from Switzerland. I knew this was a surefire qualifier. There's talks about this possibly winning. Now, I gotta be real with you. I really don't want this song to win. I definitely think it deserved to qualify. Luca is a great dancer. I think that that's something that really makes him stand out from some of the other artists we've had who are like these, straight boys who come with these sort of swaggerific, I Want to Get With a Girl kind of pop songs that would be really radio friendly. They don't really bring the choreography in the same way. I must admit, I really like when I see what I'm presuming is a straight male performer go so hard into the choreography because he was slaying that. And, it honestly paid off pretty well. It's a predictable song in a lot of ways, and I kind of knew already he was gonna do with the staging. I just felt like I'd already kind of had it in my head, so nothing really surprised me there. But like I said, I'm not surprised he went through. However, I don't know, listening to the studio version and then hearing his version live, I just can't help but like compare that it doesn't sound quite as polished. But then again, it's because it's a studio version. But you know what? It's not, considering the lyrical content, I don't hate the song. I think it's pretty catchy. I like the sort of like Eastern kind of influence on the instrumental and the production. So it makes it like stand out a little bit, similar to another song in this competition, which is very pop and very radio friendly, but I love, and I'll get to that. But before that, let's talk about Latvia, my heart, Carousel, That Night. No one is surprised Latvia didn't make it. It was the kind of outlier song from this whole competition. It was the sort of one really, really down-tempo, really slow, quiet track where it was just about the vibe. It was just about the live instrumentation. The song wasn't really going anywhere, I'll admit, but honestly, the lead vocalist, she really sings me like this silky, buttery, very kind of heavenly melody that just wraps you up. And honestly, I actually really thought the staging fit. Like, I liked this sort of radial kind of backing with the like shimmering like lights in what looked like a window. It felt very ephemeral and kind of magical. And I think this song is a perfect winter kind of evening song that you'd have with a cup of coffee or some hot tea, hot cocoa by the fire. So I like that Latvia brought that sort of a sleepier, calming energy. But I could see how for a lot of people it did just put them to sleep, and they were like, "Okay, when's this over?" So yeah, I'm sorry, Latvia. You get. I actually, if you remember, I put Latvia as like the 13th best song in this competition. So I liked this song, like personally, but I did not see it going very far. That's for sure. But yes, sorry, Latvia. You definitely, you get points for originality. All right, Esther Piani, On a Sunday, the act from Romania, performed next. Now, if anyone thinks there's any sort of criminal activity that went on with the voting and with the qualifiers, the one act that I was surprised didn't go through was Romania. The next act that precedes it, Denmark, I think kind of took its spot, even though that might not have actually been what it took its spot. I would have kind of swapped those two acts, although I actually really loved Denmark's entry as well. I just thought, On a Sunday, the way she performed it was pretty much vocally flawless. The staging, the pyrotechnics, it was pretty impactful. I mean, I must admit, this imagery that's going on in the background, I get that the production of the song makes it feel very epic and dark, But if you listen to the lyrics, it's not really guiding you in that direction. I don't really know where she's pulling these like ancient temple imagery and like these like weird symbols and like this haunted mansion imagery. I'm like, girl, I know you're from Romania, so like you could pull from a lot of that, Transylvanian stuff, but it doesn't really fit with the lyrics of the song, at least in the way I kind of interpreted it. So it's a little bit of an odd pairing, but it just works and you don't really question it. But yeah, choreography wise and everything, I think Esther in some ways was robbed. I am kind of surprised this song didn't go through. I guess maybe, I don't know. There was apparently like a 1 vote difference between 10th and 11th space. So that number 11 was Romania. There's no way Romania came lower than 11th place. But yeah, no, there are some acts that came in ahead of it that I was a little surprised. And that one of them being Denmark, which did qualify, which performed next. Leonora's Love is Forever. It's saccharine, it's cheesy, but you know what? I actually really, really do find it cute and adorable. I don't hate the song. I had it in the middle of the road category, but that's just because, I mean, come on, there are songs that are doing more interesting things. I actually really like that they committed to this sort of IKEA chair imagery, even though they probably might have thought, oh, we're going to get made fun of for this so hard. They actually just ran with it with the final performance. And the background with the clouds, that makes me think of like a Mario Party game. Like those like really cheesy Nintendo graphics. It really works for the song because the song is cheesy and it's a bit like children's television. And Leonora, she kind of comes across a little like intense on camera, but I don't know. I just find the whole package like really kind of endearing and cute. Even though it feels very kind of mechanical in a lot of ways. Like it feels like we are going to look happy. We are going to deliver happy song. Like Leonora's like, I'm smiling in the camera. My family is definitely not being held hostage right now. No, it doesn't come, like, it's a little hilarious how like almost forced it feels, the like optimism. I must admit, and the irony cannot escape me, that both Iceland and Denmark have qualified, which I wasn't expecting. Unfortunately, Denmark does perform ahead of Iceland, but Iceland's way further down after Denmark in the final running order on the grand final. I would love to see Iceland go immediately after Denmark. And you know how Iceland has that like ball and chain kind of imagery? I would love to see that like ball come crashing down onto the chair after they've left the stage, and then it's like hatred will prevail. And it was this just very sort of dichotomy of messaging. That would be quite funny, not to mention the history between Denmark and Iceland. I think that would have been an interesting kind of historical tie there. But that would have almost been too cheeky, too meme-worthy, too good for it to be real. So we will see both of those acts competing, but ultimately I think Iceland is a little stronger. They get points for originality. Leonora, though, I must admit, it's really cute. Okay, Jan Lundvik for Sweden, Too Late for Love. No one is surprised this song didn't qualify. Again, and I think this is just because it's Sweden. People are betting on this possibly being a winner. I don't want this song to win in any shape or form. I'm sorry. Sweden, first of all, has won the competition too many times with not so great songs. Second of all, Jan Lundvik and Michael Rice are similar vocalists who are delivering similar style songs, both written by Michael Rice. And the song that's being performed for the UK is getting completely crapped on. Meanwhile, everyone loves Jan Lundvik's song because it's Sweden and it's not the UK. Michael Rice has the better song. Too Late for Love it's harmless. It's a great song. It's got gospel elements. It does take you to church. I think the backing singers are a great addition, but it just is something we've seen a lot before and does not really make any sort of impact for me. Cesar Samson delivered a much more endearing gospel-sounding kind of pop song last year for Austria, and that came in 3rd place. So, I mean, I could see this song maybe coming in 3rd place again, but it doesn't deserve to be the top. Jan Ludwig was great. He's charismatic. Nothing bad to say there. It's an innocuous song, but it does not deserve to win. Okay, Austria. Panda with her song Limits. This song I've always been on the fence on. I actually did end up putting it in like the bottom half of the bottom section of my ranking. This song just isn't really going anywhere. I really want to like it because the song is so emotional and the lyrics are so deep and personal. But the construction and composition of the song really doesn't go anywhere. And not to mention on stage, she could have done more. She could have even channeled more of that emotion, I think, and it just came off a little flat. And the outfit choices, the staging, it was just not really speaking to the song well enough. If you're just going to stand on stage and be like very kind of, refined and refrained, you need to have like some really cool visuals going on, sort of like Slovenia, or you just really need to sell that emotion somehow. And it's a shame, I don't like seeing a song that is coming from such a great place be like so not good. But I don't know. This song just wasn't really a good fit for Eurovision. I honestly don't really, yeah, I don't really know what Austria was thinking by choosing it. Sorry, Penda. You're a great artist, and you seem like a really cool person I'd love to hang out with, and have good chats with, but this song just isn't really going there. Okay, another song that, yeah, no one expected to be in the final, does not deserve to be there, I'm sorry, is Croatia, Rocco's The Dream. Boy, does he get points for costuming. I mean, he went all out with that sort of Catholic imagery of fallen angels, recreating the Sistine Chapel on the stage for us, basically. But you can't save a song like this with costuming. Like, it's just too overdramatic, too saccharine, too dated, too been there, done that. Um, he doesn't really have that much charisma on stage either. And so it just didn't really connect. So yeah, no one's surprised this didn't go through. Okay, so we wake up again with Michaela from Malta with Chameleon. Oh my god, and I can't be the only one who was literally on the edge of my seat when they were announcing the qualifiers, and the last spot to be announced was for Malta, but they kept us on the edge of our seat thinking, oh my god, Malta's not going to qualify. Because that's happened a lot. Malta doesn't often qualify, and they can have some really good songs. So the fact that Michaela made it is such sweet justice in a way. It's so nice to see that. She's this younger artist. She's got a song that is very, very radio friendly. I mean, seriously, chart potential for sure. So catchy, so memorable, so colorful, so positive. I mean, this song just makes me happy. I feel like it's a rush of endorphins. That's what this song is. It's a bit campy, but it's perfect for Eurovision in that regard. I think the choreography was perfect. It fit her sort of youthful energy. The song felt like just this like amazing performance by a young, talented artist who, yeah, is given a bit more of a radio-friendly kind of engineered song, but she sold it, and it went miles, I think. A major home run for sure, and I'm so happy Malta made it. Lithuania, Yuri Viklenko. Yeah, thank you, next. I'm sorry, Yuri tried so hard on stage. You could tell he knew his song wasn't going anywhere, but he was just like, if I just really smile at that camera, milk those angles with my beautiful blue eyes and my rugged good looks, maybe I can get there, but it wasn't enough. Although I must admit, you look pretty good on camera, Yuri, so I wouldn't worry too much. I think, you have a great voice, you have the potential. The song was just really not working out. Like, it was a bad song. I had it in the fourth worst song of this competition. Glad to see this one didn't qualify, because I gotta be honest, after San Marino qualified, Lithuania was another one that I was like, oh my god, what if this one does qualify? Like, if San Marino can qualify, then maybe Lithuania will. And, oh, we don't want that kind of tomfoolery. Okay, the winner of semifinal 2. There were some great performances, but my winner, and I don't know if it came in first place in the voting, I'm not sure. It definitely was top 5. I would say even top 3. Sergei Lazarev with Scream from Russia. Oh my goodness, I was so excited to see the staging for this song. I don't know why some people don't like this song. Some people are saying that his 2016 song is better. I'm like, are you serious? I even heard in an interview, he says he hates that song. He thought that song was not his personality, that it was just dime a dozen, that it was just kind of cheesy. This is a song that has real meaning, that has power, it's cross-generational, it's gonna reach a whole wide range of different audiences, from east to west. This is a song that is made for Eurovision, that is made to make a show and a spectacle and make an impact. I want this song to win. I am rooting. This song and one other song that we are coming to are my bets to win, and they're the songs I would like to see win. You all know how I feel about Slovenia, but you know that song's not going to win. And honestly, I wouldn't think it should, because the staging's not quite there. But this performance by Sergei was just beyond like anything I could have hoped for. He really sold those vocals too. Like, it's already a song where the vocals are already just going to have to be knocked out of the park, and he elevated it even more with his, particularly his closing notes. So well done. Well done, Sergei. You really, really deserve this. I don't care what people have to say. I know people don't like it because it's Russia. I get it. There's political voting involved. It's a similar issue that the UK is now having because, you know, the UK is not so popular with most of Europe right now. Newsflash, but just like Russia is in a similar boat, but for a completely different reason. Moscow 2020, I'm just saying, or maybe St. Petersburg. I'd much rather go to St. Petersburg. It's very possible, very possible. But why do I feel like it's probably not going to happen? Because of the politics. Because 2015 should have won. A Million Voices, Polina Gagarina. Oh my gosh, that song so should have won. It's one of my favorite Eurovision songs of this decade. And it went to Sweden instead. Please, Eurovision, do not repeat 2015's mistake. Let's not have that. There's another act that deserves first place. We will talk about it in a second. But before we get to it, we've got Jonida Malici with Kietu Tokis. Albania, return to your land. I am so surprised this song qualified. I would have definitely had it in my final. It's a song that, you know, when I first heard it back when they were releasing the demo versions, I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. I don't know. Like, it's cute. She's a great voice, but it's not for me. And then this song just grew on me and grew on me, and the ethnic flavoring, and then she revamped it and the visuals, and I was just like, oh my God, this is serving everything. Camp, emotion, fashion, powerhouse vocals. Everything is on point with this song. I'm very proud of Jonida for qualifying. Again, I do think this might have been the 10th place song. I do think that this might have just stolen Romania's spot by like 1 point. Because I don't necessarily see this song resonating so strongly with Eurovision audiences, because a lot of songs that are similar like this, that are very ethnic, like Hungary, they don't tend to qualify. And of course, let's not forget about the tragedy that is Portugal not qualifying. This makes up for it just a little bit, but I still would have preferred Portugal if we had to switch for one. But yeah, Albania, good job, Jonida. Okay. Kino, Spirit in the Sky for Norway. I don't really have that much to say. Honestly, I didn't even really feel like I needed to watch the performance. I feel like it's very traditional Eurovision EDM. And although it's a little bit better than Finland's song because it's got the yoiker and it's got just a little bit more of an interesting melody, it still is very forgettable to me. I don't want to listen to this song very much. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I'm just kind of over this kind of trance EDM stuff. That's very like traditionally like what you would expect at Eurovision. So the song qualified. Again, I wouldn't necessarily have chosen it. I would have put Romania in its place, but I'm okay with it qualifying. I kind of didn't see it not qualifying. It has that kind of appeal. Okay, Duncan Lawrence with Arcade, the Netherlands. So if there is one artist that's going to steal #1 from Sergei, the only artist who deserves it is Duncan with Arcade. I had it as the #1 song to win. I think almost everyone agrees this one's probably the most likely to win the competition. I was really interested to see if he was going to do something really unique with his staging, but no, he's just at the piano. I do like the kind of light that comes down, and then the way the camera's panning around him. It just feels very like we're amongst all the stuff that's going on. He sells it. He does a perfect rendition of a studio recording. His voice sounds amazing. It's just his character. It's almost like I like him more than the song, and I also like where the song's coming from more than the actual construction of the song itself. Is it the most like endearing melody? No. I mean, I don't think it's actually that compositionally that interesting. I mean, I do think it's got amazing songwriting and it's a very good song, but what sells it is just all these other factors that come together to just really make it a song to be proud of. It definitely deserves to win this competition. But I gotta be honest, if I had to pick, I'm honestly kind of leaning more towards Sergey. But, you know, nothing against Duncan. I like them for different reasons. They both deserve that #1 spot. But we know Sweden's going to take it anyway, right? Or France. I've heard some people saying France might win. I'm like, oh God. Okay, another act that I was really worried wasn't going to make it and pull through, but did. It was actually the first to be announced to qualify, so that put me in a really good mood. Tamara Tadevska from North Macedonia. She really should be proud of her song, Proud. The performance she gave was elegant. It was top notch, 10 out of 10. Sounded just like the recording. I mean, she threw it out of the park. I like the mirrored reflections of her, kind of looked like a fountain in the background. It was just so elegant. I felt like I was in some royal music hall. And she just really, really sends goosebumps down the arm with this song. That excellent string backing really sells this empowering message of female solidarity and celebration, because especially considering, you know, what's going on right now in the US with like these controversial abortion bills, it really resonated with me extra strongly today, because I was just like, you know, like we need more of this. So Tamara, I love you. You did amazing. You deserve to be in the final. I was really, really worried that, like, you know, an act like Norway, which is conventional, which is mainstream, which has that appeal, was going to take your spot, but instead you're both in the final. So I'm really happy to see that people are resonating with it and voting for it. Okay, and then we wrap up the contest with Chingiz from Azerbaijan, Truth. Wow, was I sleeping on this song or what? I had this song in my meh category, but wow, did he sell it with the staging? Not to mention he's a pretty good looking guy. He definitely likes to show off his muscles, that's for sure. I think the mechanical arms with the heartbeat and the electronic sort of surrounding, and then those visuals with the holograms, really top-notch staging. I think Chingiz and what's the other act that did amazing staging? Oh, Australia. They are the best in terms of just stage performance, although I would argue Russia as well. They're the ones who are putting the most into their stage technical effects, and they're pulling them off really well. So Azerbaijan definitely deserved to qualify. It was not an act I expected to like that much or think was that great. But after seeing the performance, I was like, there's no way this isn't qualifying. There is no way. And honestly, I could see it being in the top 5. I could see this like being 5th in the final, maybe even 4th. And that rounds out the semifinal 2, which brings me to a little bit of a talk about the grand final, which is tomorrow, this coming Saturday, which I will review on Sunday at the earliest, but I might not be able to get to it till Monday. We'll see how the weekend goes. We've got the 26 acts. We know the running order. We've got the show opening with Malta and ending with Spain. A lot of people say the song that performs in second place, which this year is Albania, is basically done for, so I do feel a little bit bad for Albania. Israel's in the middle. The running order, you know, I'm not really liking where Russia is placed for its odds. I don't think it's in a very good spot because it's towards the beginning and people are going to forget about it. But, you know, again, I really don't think the running order has so much to do with it. You know, if you like a song, you're going to vote for it. But if we look at these 26 acts, and I have to predict who the top 10 are going to be, just based off of what we've seen so far, remember, we're going to see these performed again. We're going to see if they fix some of the mistakes. And we have the other 6 acts we haven't seen perform live yet, which is, you know, Italy, UK, France, Spain, Germany, and Israel, which we all know how I feel about Germany. That song does not deserve to be in our final. Could we replace that with a song like Romania or Portugal, please? Why does Germany have to take that spot? Why? Anyway, another conversation. I predict that the top 10, it's a little bit hard for me to place the ordering for a lot of them. I'll say I think I know my top 3 and I'll place those orders. But if we're talking about the bottom, like the other 7, I think the songs that I predict will be in that will finish in that order. And keep in mind, this is my prediction, not necessarily what I would like. For 10th space, I actually think that Cyprus is probably not going to quite go the distance. I definitely think Cyprus is in the top 10. But I'm just not entirely sure if it's actually going to hold up against other songs that are similar to it that I just don't know, maybe have a little bit more appeal. I think ninth place, Czech Republic. Again, I don't like the song, but I think it's going to be in the top 10. They've got the fan base. The guys have the charisma. It's a song that's going to probably do well. At eighth place, I have Italy. Now, I would love to see Italy in the top 3, but somebody did say that they think the hip hop elements might be a little bit of a detractor for it for Eurovision. And I could see that, especially with the juries. They might not be so into that kind of thing. I'd love to see Italy higher, but unfortunately, I don't necessarily know if it's going to make it into the top 3 or 5. Hopefully, though, I'm hoping for it. I definitely have Switzerland at number 7. I think Switzerland could easily be higher than that. Like, it could be at any of the spaces, except I hope it's not at number 1. I would argue then in that place, Sweden deserves number 1 over Switzerland, because at least Sweden has more of a message behind it and vocally stronger. Malta, I have at number 6. I really don't know where Malta could fall. It could be at any space between spot number 4 and 10. It really it comes down to luck and a lot of different things. But so I put it at number 6. Greece, again, Greece I have in the top 5. I could see it being higher. I could see it being in the top 3 for sure. Azerbaijan I do have in the top 5 as the 5th best. Again, it's definitely in the top 10. I just, maybe it'll be lower. I'm not sure. France, I have France as 4th because Bilal has the fan following. I don't know what else to say. He's really trying to sell the song on its message and on his staging and on his costuming and all of these things. And I would rather see the UK in that spot. But, this is my prediction. Okay, and then I guess Russia I have predicted as 3rd, just because I would love to see it as 2nd or 1st, but let's be real, it's Russia. It can't, that's the best it could probably do. I don't know if Eurovision ever wants to give Russia the contest. I don't know. I have Sweden at number 2, and then I have the Netherlands at number 1. That's just a prediction. The one I feel the most comfortable about is the Netherlands being number 1. I'm pretty certain that the Netherlands is going to win this thing. I'll be very shocked if it doesn't. But again, the only act that I really think else deserves it to win would be Russia or maybe Greece. I would love to see Greece win. I think Greece has an amazing song. Also, the UK would be my honorable mention because, seriously, the UK finished 24th place last year, and honestly, the song wasn't that bad. Not to mention, the poor artist had this guy come on stage and harass her. But there wasn't any sympathy for that, and they still finished almost bottom. That is not going to happen to Michael Rice, okay? We are not going to finish in the 20s, okay? We are going to finish in the top 15. Please. I would have you in the top 10. Michael Rice was an amazing song. Also, there is no way Germany is not coming in 25th or 26th spot. Seriously, come on. Germany cannot do better than 25. If the only reason I say it might not be 26 is because I think San Marino might actually get that 26th spot because, why would San Marino do any better than that? So that's who I have in the very bottom. I also hope Estonia is nowhere near the top 10. Good Lord, Estonia does not deserve to be in this final. I am so livid about that. Estonia would be number 24 for me. Yeah, there are some qualifiers that I'm just absolutely puzzled by. Unfortunately, I don't think Albania will do too well either. So I think Albania will be in the 20s. Denmark's probably not going to sail that high. I hope Iceland does pretty good. Iceland could be number 11 for sure. So Iceland could sneak up in there, who knows? Israel deserves to be in the top 15. I like Israel. Spain, probably in the middle somewhere. Spain knows it's not going to win, but honestly, Miki's a cute guy, and he's got a fun song. He's closing out the show, so he gets those kind of memorability points there. Slovenia, I don't know what to say, but honestly, I don't know if Slovenia is going to do too well. I think it is going to get kind of drowned out. I would love to see it do better, but I just don't have a good feeling about it. But I'm so happy it made it to the final because I really wasn't sure. So I'm hoping for a top 15 for Slovenia as well. Honestly, I would put it in my top 10 because I think it's way better than Czech Republic or Switzerland, or even Azerbaijan. But we'll see what happens. I'm very interested to see where the chips fall. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace, love, and light. Hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you when they talk about the final. Bye.